basically primary data types and secondary data types. Primary, there is a integer, character, float, which are numeric as well as non-numeric. And but these data types are not sufficient to build any program. So Denisici has made secondary data types. So one of that is a pointer. Then uh, array is there. Array is also a data type, but it is a secondary data type. Why? Because we say that array of integers or array of float numbers, right? Or array of characters. As far as pointer is concerned, we say that integer pointer, right? Float pointer. And that's why we do not call pointer as a uh, built-in data type, but a uh, derived data type, right? Like no cold drink. Cold drink is derived from where? Cold drink is derived from water. Okay? So water is the base content of that, and then some form of cold drink is perhaps manufactured. I do not know, but let's take a thumbs up or Coca-Cola. So base material is water. Similarly, when you create a pointer, there can be integer pointer or a float pointer or a character pointer or any other pointer is possible. A couple of things are required. First of all, address of a variable. We define pointer as a variable which contains an address of another variable. Then these are the technical terms referencing and dereferencing, right? Basically, pointer is reference to another object, what you can say, another memory, where it points. There are two operators. One is an ampersand operator, and another is the star operator. And ampersand operator is what we call it as the address operator, and star operator, unary star operator, we use it as a uh, dereferencing operator. Okay. We will see couple of examples and couple of uses of the pointer um, at the end of the session, right? So as I say, x is a integer variable, right? If I write x is equal to percent %t and x, the contents of x will be printed, right? X is a memory location, 4 bytes of memory is located, and when you send that variable as an argument to printf function, contents of x will be printed, right? Now if I want to print the address of x, I'm using percent %u because it is a format specifier. Like percent %d is a format specifier for integer. Percent %u is a format specifier for unsigned integer, right? But it varies from machine to machine. On Linux, we use the format specifier for printing address as a p, percent %p on Linux platform, right? So it varies. You have to check that which is to be used for printing the address. Um, we want to print the address of x now. At what memory location x is given uh, the memory, right? The space. And as we know, when you declare variable, memory is allocated on the basis of data type. So x is 5 and address of x is 642268. That's it, right? Now we said that uh, pointer is a variable which contains an address of another variable, right? So how to declare that pointer? The data type star, suppose ptr. That's it, right? So here ptr is a pointer variable. Ptr is a pointer variable. Why we say ptr is a pointer variable? Not because ptr is the no name like a pointer. No, only because star is attached to that. Star is attached to ptr. This is a declaration statement. Students are confused unnecessarily. This is a declaration like this, like this. This is also a declaration statement. So ptr is a name of the variable, right? And it is not a normal variable because star is attached to this. So ptr is a pointer variable which can contain an address of integer variable. So if I write ptr is equal to ampersand x, then I can access that contents of x. I can access remotely from different location. X is equal to percent d, and I will write star ptr dereferencing that. So if I compile this program and run, it will get you again x is equal to 5. So if you observe here, without mentioning x, we are accessing the contents of x. We are writing star ptr. Now, so many things are there related with the pointer, very interesting, and we will be dealing along with the pointer till no almost next 5 6 chapters. We will be we will play along with the pointers, not only deal along with pointers, we will play along with pointers. Now many things are there. One thing is that the way you have written x is equal to 5, you are storing contents directly in the x. This is not allowed as far as pointer variable is concerned, right? You have to store an address of variable. You cannot allocate address to ptr. Got my point? I mean, you cannot write like this. Int star, suppose ptr1 is equal to something like this. No, this is not allowed. This is not allowed, right? What does it do? See, doesn't give any error. It gives you just warning. It gives you just warning. And my friends, this is the most dangerous statement, right? This is the most dangerous statement. Why? Because suppose 8473474887. This is uh, this is a number, and you are storing that number in pointer variable ptr1, ptr1, right? What may happen when you run this program? When you run this program, the pointer ptr1 will start pointing to this memory location. It may happen. It may happen. This is the most dangerous because we do not know what is stored at this location. Anything can be there. I mean, suppose uh, some device is attached to this uh, laptop, or something is there, not device particularly, any system related data is stored, suppose at this location. It might be corrupted. That's the reason actually PTR has to be handled very carefully, pointer has to be handled carefully. All right. So this is a bad idea. Never ever do this. Right? Got that? You can store an address of a variable in the pointer variable. Next, pointer has to be declared on the basis of which variable, what type of variable you want to store address. So suppose no, before that, suppose there is another variable y, right? Suppose 10, and the moment you write ptr is equal to ampersand y, right? The pointer will start pointing to y. Its connection along with the x will be broken, and pointer will start pointing to y. So if I write if I write y is equal to star ptr, now y is equal to 10. Got that? But pointer can point to particular variable, but pointer cannot point to two locations, right? So likewise, no, if you are sitting somewhere, at the same time you cannot sit anywhere, you cannot be any other place, right? So it is how this pointer at this time was pointing to x, here now it is pointing to y. That's it, right? What is the use of all these things, and we will see that, right? I'm just no dealing along with the fundamentals of pointer. uh, when I declare a variable as float, suppose p is equal to 8.9, and you want to store contents of p, suppose in a pointer variable, then you cannot write, my friends, you cannot write ptr is equal to ampersand uh, p. No, this is not valid. This is not valid. Why? Because if you want to store address of float variable, the pointer has to be a float pointer, right? So you need to declare another pointer variable, like suppose float, any variable, fptr, suppose I'm giving you fptr. You can write here fptr is equal to ampersand p, right? Suppose now, if I write statement like the same earlier, it will print contents of p, right? If I write p is equal to fptr, it will print, because since fptr points to p, which is a floating point variable, then it will print contents of that variable. You can access remotely. So if I run this code, what happens? fptr is equal to ampersand p. What is the problem? Yeah, fptr must be star. I just check this. You declare the variable as float. I wanted to declare as a pointer variable, but normal. You declared it normal. I declared normal variable and trying to store address of a float variable in that. It doesn't allow you, right? Because fptr is not a pointer variable. Now in the normal variable you cannot store an address, right? So what will happen? Now p will contain 899, right? Because fptr is pointing to variable p. You can access mean you can do anything because you are accessing. So if I write ptr, suppose I write star ptr is equal to, suppose 55, right? And star fptr is equal to, what is the, this is dereferencing. Ptr is a pointer variable. Star ptr, value at the variable to which ptr is pointing. So what is the whole, how here the whole statement can be read? Value at the address contained in ptr, or the value at the location where ptr is pointing. Value at the address contained in fptr, or the value at the location to which fptr is pointing. So what is to be done in that? Store 55 at that location. Store 55 at what location? Which location? To which ptr is pointing. So ptr is pointing to x. Store 55 at that location. So remotely you are changing. This is the power of pointer. Remotely you are changing the contents of x. If I write, you are not just accessing. Now I'll write, now x is equal to %d slash n, and I'll write, now here I'll write it x. Let's see. I'm not writing star ptr. You can write the same thing. And now p contains f and t, right? Because ptr is pointing to x, right? And fptr is pointing to the variable, float variable p, right? Each compiler has got its own syntaxes, right? So there is int argc and char star argv. I'm going to talk on this uh, later in the command line arguments. Uh, I'll write the same program here, not complete, but let's see only int star ptr is equal to ampersand x, right? Printf x is equal to percent d slash n. I'll write star ptr. This line says that you need to console pause at your own gate ch system pause or input loop. Okay, so it is telling to put this statement at the end because that is the no need of the this thing. So zero error and zero warning. If I run this, x is equal to 5, right? Let me try to remove this because maybe we won't be able to. Yes, it is there. No problem. This is not necessary. I thought it is necessary because only because they have written. Now, if I write star ptr is equal to 55, I'm trying to change the contents of x remotely. So see, contents of x are changed, right? Now x contains 55, right? Uh, let's go directly a important application, not application, but what you can say use of that pointer, and then again I will come to the basics, right? In the last chapter, if you can remember, I am having tea, huh, students, because I was a bit tired today, so in the last program, last chapter, uh, we explained the limitation of function of returning only one value, right? So we will try to write the same program and try to modify. We'll modify that program using pointer, right? Because on the concept I taught you just, we'll interchange contents of two variables. I'll let enter number, right? Ampersand x, right? I'll copy paste this and uh, if you can remember, we sent x and y, right? In the earlier yesterday, and I write here suppose printf I'll write the same statement before we call the function. Right? Right here, return 0. And we are going to write the function. So void interchange, right? Int comma int, right? Because we cannot return anything, right? So void interchange. You are sending x and y. I'll collect it in p and in q, right? I'll declare temporary variable. Write temp is equal to p. P is equal to q and q is equal to temp, right? And since we cannot return more than one value, there is no question of returning. And first of all, where you will return, because at the left hand side there is nothing to catch that. If you're returning something, there might be on the left hand side there must be something to catch that, right? Whatever is being written. So if I run this code, what happens? Okay. I will enter 55 and 44. So after interchanging, okay, 55 and 44 after interchanging, I forgot the message. This is the drawback of copy paste. You forget. So values are not interchanged. X is equal to 55, that remains 55. Y is 68, that remains 68. Why? Because this x and y are common to this variable. When function is called, contents of x will be copied to p, contents of y will be copied to q, right? Whatever interchange, whatever modifications, what you can say, modifications are made, this happens inside this function. But the moment control leaves this, right, function, this everything is no. When control exits any function, everything, I mean, everything is vanished. Okay, no, nothing is there in that function. Whatever variables you have declared, everything is gone, right? So instead of sending now, this is called a call by value, right? Function call by value, because you are sending a value. Now we will not sending the value. Why value? Because we are sending contents of x. Here now we will send not contents of x, we will send the address of x, right? We are sending address of x. Now since interchange function is accepting address, then it should be collected in what? The actual argument is address of x or address of some integer variable. Then the at the receiving end there should be a pointer variable. So declare here pointer. So p is now pointer to x and q is now pointer to y, right? Accordingly change here prototype. What is the meaning of this prototype? Interchange is the function which is not going to return anything. It is going to take two arguments. First argument is integer pointer. Second argument is integer pointer. It is taking integer pointer as an argument, means what? It is going to take address of a integer variable. That's it, right? Now here declare one variable. Now see here what changes I am making in the code carefully. P contains an address of x. P contains an address of X. Using pointer, how you can access that? Attaching the pointer to that variable. So I will write star P. P is a pointer, attach star, you will get the value at that address. So star P is what? X itself. I will write here. I will write here star P is equal to star Q and temp is equal to star Q. And if I now run this code, and if I now suppose 44 and 88, now X contains 44 and Y contains 88, right? Before interchange, X is equal to 44, Y is equal to 88. After interchange, X now contains 88 and Y is 44. That is only because of pointer, use of pointer, right? See, you are not returning anything, but you are able to change contents of X and Y remotely from other function. This is basically the power of pointer. One small power of pointer, but this is the basis how to access contents remotely. You have to play along with that, right? I hope this program is clear to you. And then uh, no uh, we will write one more program. Is that clear? We'll write another program, right? I will declare mm, one variable as a radius of a circle and length of a rectangle and breadth of a rectangle, right? uh, Recall the program we wrote earlier. We wrote couple of functions. Now we will try to do everything inside one function. Float. We wrote four functions at that time. Four functions. Now we will do everything inside one function. Why? Because when we wrote four functions, since function can only return one value, we wrote separate function for uh, calculating area of rectangle, then perimeter of rectangle, separate function, and we return that values. This is just to see the use of the pointer. That's it. Okay. Then we will take the input from the keyboard. Right. We'll have to some write generic function. So what name we can give? Hmm, suppose I write return type is void. We are going to return anything. Void. Suppose I give name as shape details. Anything. Okay. Shape details. I'll try to understand program very carefully. This is not an easy program. Okay. I'm trying to make it easy. Uh, I'll have to call that function and inside that function we are going to calculate area of rectangle, perimeter of rectangle, area of circle, and circumference of a circle. All these variables are inside this main function, right? So, and to calculate all these things, to get no all these values, we need to send radius, length, and breadth, right? So these three we have to send for calculation, and since these are inside the main function, we need to send addresses of these variables, right? I will write here int comma int, right? And you need to send an address, so which is going to be collected in a pointer variable. So int star comma float star, right? And then you write printf area of rectangle is %d. You can write here, since it doesn't give any help like code block, so you have to type that very carefully. We used to, when I learned C language, we were having DOS compiler, disk operating system compiler, what we call it the Turbo C compiler. Those compilers were like this, but some of the videos in your animation as a blue color backgrounds, these are because no help was there. And we will call a single function here, right? Which function? Shape details, and I will send rad, that is the radius, then length, breadth, and addresses of all these, because we want changes to be made inside this function, right? So I will send address of rec area, address of rec perimeter, address of circle area, and address of friends. Perhaps this is the reason students do not students directly take Python language, right? Because you play along with at the memory level, machine level, right? But there is no joy like um, uh, there is no joy like programming in C. And right here, return 0, right here, void shape details, right? Then you need to declare some variable int l, int what is your sending first? Radius is sending, so int r, int l, int b, and the sequence and should be same. So radius we are collecting in a variable r, length we are collecting in a variable l, breadth you are collecting in a variable b. Now you are sending an address, so it has to be a pointer variable. So you are sending an address of integer variable. So there should be integer pointer. So int star, suppose we'll give normal variable. Hmm? Uh, int star p, right? That's it. Uh, int star q, right? Float. Circle area is a float. So float star r. R is getting doubled, right? Because R is already there. Uh, let's declare y and z. Y. Variable naming should not be like this, but no. Um, so we don't have that much time right now. So float star z, right? And here I will write. Mm, try to understand this. P contains an address of a variable rake area, right? So I will write star rake area is equal to length into equal to y contains the address of circle area variable, right? So it is going to be 3.14 3.14 into r and star z is equal to 2 into 3.14 into r, right? See, that was a huge program because of pointer reduced completely. One single function doing all things. Basically, this is not a modular programming, but I'm just giving you an example, right? How pointer helps you to remotely, modify contents. So there are no errors and warnings. So run this code, enter radius of a circle. So enter radius as a 5, length of rectangle as 6, breadth of rectangle as suppose mm, breadth should be less, right? Suppose 4, right? So area of rectangle is 24, perimeter of rectangle is 20, area of rectangle is 78. Oh, it's copy paste because of okay. Copy paste is a big problem. I hope I know that at the very first level this program you may not understand, but I'm sending you video so or you can go through that again and again and again, right? So area of rectangle is 20, perimeter of rectangle is 18. That is correct, I think so. Yes, it is. Please. Yes, it is correct. Area of circle is 113.04. Area. Oh, again, my God. Uh, circumference of circle. Right? I want to execute it again. So, or we can execute it again for the simple values. Radius of a circle 1, 5 and 2. So yes, it is correct. Area of circle is 3.14, circumference of circle is 6.28. So program is, so far it is correct. Now the question is, you might be having questions related with this and this, right? I'm quite sure. But the basics I taught you in 15-20 minutes. Those basics this program is based. So in the earlier part, I just declare int x. I stored x is equal to 5. Then I store address of x in ptr, right? And then I wrote star ptr is equal to 55. You can remember. So you change contents of x from 5 to 55, right? You replace 5 by storing 55 by writing statement as star ptr is equal to 55, right? This is how you change contents of x using pointer variable. The same you are doing here, nothing more than that. Now students are confused why addresses of this are not to be changed. You can send addresses. If suppose you send address of x, right? You have to collect in pointer variable, and where you write this, you have to write here star. So everywhere you have to write star like this. Why? You are not going to change the contents of R. You are not going to change contents of R, L, or B, right? You are going to use these values, but you are going to change. Rather, change is not correct word here. You are going to store values in these four variables, and that's why we are seeing we are sending addresses of these variables to function. So since we are sending an addresses of these functions, we are collecting those addresses in corresponding pointer variables or data types. So if you are sending an address of integer variable, it has to be integer pointer. Integer variable, address of integer variable, it is integer pointer. This is an address of float variable, so it is a float pointer, and same here, right? Very clear. Now again, when p contains an address of rec underscore area, p is a pointer to rec area, right? That is the reason I am writing here star p. Some many students write like this: p is equal to l into b. No, p can contain only address. P can contain only address. L into B is not cannot be an address. L into B is multiplication of length and breadth. Where it is to be stored? Not in P. At the location, at the memory where P is pointing. That's why star. Right? Right? Same here. So when you write star P, what does it mean? The location store the value at the right hand side where q is pointing at that location. So this is how it needs to be read, it needs to be interpreted, it needs to be understood. I hope i hope it is clear. So a small program, I have declared variable as x, declared one pointer variable ptr. Ptr contains an address of x, and we are trying to print the contents of x using pointer variable, right? When I mean by access, access means anything, just access or no, modify that. That is also access, because modification of data means without access, how you can modify that, right? So it is generic words. Access is a generic word. Now, if I Now this is something weird, you can say, absolutely weird. Why? Because Dennis Ritchie thought he was the Dennis Ritchie, so he can think anything, right? If x is a variable, listen carefully. If x is a variable, ptr is a pointer variable. Pointer is a variable which can contain an address of another variable. So he stored address of x in ptr. X is a variable, x is having its own memory location, right? Ptr is also a variable, right? It's just a pointer variable, that's it, but it is a variable, no? And it needs memory, so it is having its own address, right? So he thought, why not store address of this pointer variable in another variable, right? Let's see. So I will write a few statements. Printf, okay, x is equal to %d x, right? Don't get confused. Single statement at a time. Single statement at a time, right? Here I am printing contents of x using the same variable. Contents of x using the same variable. So x is here. We are storing printing contents of x. That's it. Here we are trying to access contents of x using pointer variable. Why? Because ptr contains, by this statement you are telling the compiler that ptr is a pointer to x, right? Now, as a matter of curiosity, I will write here printf address of x. I will write here ampersand x. That is the address of x, right? Address of x. The same statement I can write using ptr, but here I will write not and ptr, just ptr. Why? Because ptr contains an address. When you write here x, it prints contents of x. When you write ptr, it prints contents of ptr. What are contents of ptr? Address of x, right? Okay. So let me execute this. So what that? X is 5. This 5 is of what? When you write this statement first. Now this one, x is equal to 5, right? Here x is 5 by using the star ptr statement, right? Now address of x. What is the address of x? 6487572 something, right? And what is the address of x? Using pointer variable. Same, because and it indicates that here ptr is pointer to x, because when you print ptr, it prints the address of x, right? Now Dennis Rich thought, if ptr is a pointer variable, can I store address of that pointer variable in another pointer variable? Because it has to be a pointer variable again, right? But storing a storing an address of normal variable like x, y, integer or float, okay, you need a single pointer, right? But here you are going to store an address of a pointer variable, right? So you need, you need to declare as a star star and name anything ptr1 or anything. I will declare as a ptr to ptr underscore ptr, right? My own understanding. So ptr underscore ptr is going to be a pointer to pointer, right? Now here I'll write ptr underscore ptr is equal to, here you store address of x, right? Here you are going to store, this is a pointer to pointer, right? So here I need to store address of ptr, right? How this statement can be read? Ptr underscore ptr is a pointer. Listen carefully. Ptr underscore ptr, single star is there. So ptr underscore ptr is a pointer, right? Which contain an address of integer pointer. Note that ptr underscore ptr is pointer which contain an address of integer pointer, right? So now if I write printf, I'll write many statements, right? I'll write first what I can write, contents of uh, ptr underscore ptr. I like to know what are contents of ptr underscore ptr. Oh my god, what this message is like this? So I'll write percent u. Percent u is basically not specifically used for address. Basically, only because it is format specified for unsigned integer. And since address cannot be negative, how address can be negative? Address has to be positive. So it is, uh, but this is just address. It doesn't have to do along with no float pointer. It will be having address like integer value. I don't know what has happened to all people in the world. They are just sending me messages or they're calling me. This phone is a rubbish thing. So that's why it is a no. I will talk about unsigned afterwards, later sometime, right? Not now. So if I want to print again basics, if I want to print contents of x, you write x. I want to print contents of ptr underscore ptr, I will write ptr underscore ptr. That's it, right? Full concentration. I'll write printf contents of ptr equal to, I write here equal to, right? Contents of ptr percent u slash n, right? No, contents of ptr, you have to visualize that thing. There is one variable, there is another variable, there is third variable. Address of x is stored in the pointer variable x, ptr, and address of ptr is stored in another pointer variable ptr underscore ptr, right? You have to visualize that. So contents of ptr, how you can write ptr, right? I'm going to modify these statements again. Right, contents of x. Let it be u. Doesn't matter. It is unsigned. We know that it is phi is an unsigned constant. So it doesn't make any difference. Right, x is a very straight statements. X is a integer variable. Ptr is a integer pointer. Ptr underscore ptr is a pointer to integer pointer. That's it. So it will print contents of all three variables. Right. So here address of x is 6487572. Address of x is 648. Contents of ptr underscore pt 6487560. Right. Contents of ptr is 6487572. These contents of ptr is address of x. Right. Contents of x is a straight statement. Right. Now, now, uh, if I write contents of ptr, right? If I write here star ptr underscore ptr, it is the same thing. It is the same thing because ptr underscore ptr is a variable. Star of that means contents of ptr, right? So you are going to get the same output. No change is there. No change will be there, right? In the same fashion, like follow this statement, right? ptr contains an address of x. So x can be accessed using star operator. Now here ptr underscore ptr contains an address of integer pointer, right? And that integer pointer contains an address of x. So here if I write ptr underscore ptr, not star of that. So see here, you will get same output. No change. No change is there. Right? I went on changing. Again, watch that video. Okay? When I sent. So what I mean is that, and my friends, this is limitless. You can store address of this again in another variable because it has got its. If you write here just ampersand, that ptr underscore ptr is having its own address, right? You can store that in another pointer variable. Then there will be 3 star and 4 star. Okay, usually nobody in this world can go beyond 3 stars, right? 3 star is the rarest, what you can say, situation in programming because single star is, the programmer becomes mad. So 3 star is a long story, right? So that's it. Um, I hope uh, you will go through this video again and again and again. Okay, I mean crux of all pointers is basics of pointers. Okay, in the next chapter we are going to see more no fundamentals, more intricacies of pointer, new dimensions of the pointer, what pointer can do, uh, what kind of operations can be performed on the pointer because various operations can be performed on the pointer, right? So that's it. I will close this compiler.